gravel parking lot, and I'm walking around in there. Trying to remember my words. You know, and three cop cars surround me right there in the parking lot. And then I made some wise-ass remark, I just wrote a new song and I'm going to play it over there, and you know, blah, blah. And they're like, don't get smart with us. Son. No, they didn't say son, but he said but maybe he did, but I sort of blacked out there, and then for a moment he said, put your hands up above your head. So I did, and I was kind of like, no, really, I'm playing, and they're like, shut up, you know? So I was standing with my hands above my head, and he said, slowly put your hand down and get your ID and give it to me. And I was, at that point, I was like, they're serious. Two guys standing there with their hands on their guns, you know? The other guy, I reach down, I take my ID, and I give it to him. He he goes into the car, and he sits down, and he runs my ID to check it out. And the two other cops are just standing there like this, staring at me with the hands on the guns, and I'm like this. And I can hear them over there at the gazebo. They're like the MC and the promoter, and they're all like, has anybody seen Joe? Where's Joe? Nobody, I haven't seen, I don't know. He was back here a second ago, sort of staggering around a little bit. I don't know where he went. And I'm like, I'm over here at gunpoint, like in the parking lot. But I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to get shot or something. So I just stood there like this, and I could hear him talking, and I was like, "There, you know." And so finally, the cop gets out of the car with my ID, and he hands it back to me. He said, "Why are you in this parking lot?" I said, "I just wrote a new song. I'm playing over there, and I just walked over here to just think about some stuff before the concert." He said, well, there's a murder in this parking lot about 3 nights ago. We thought you came back to the scene of the crime. And, well, I don't know what gave you that impression. So they said, all right, you're free to go. And so they actually walked me across the street, 3 cops, And as we're walking across the street, one of the guys says, you know any Bill Morrissey songs? And Bill Morrissey lived in the Northeast but played a lot down in Texas. And I'm like, you're kidding me, So he's, I like Bill Morrissey. So they walked up. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Joe Crookson. And I'm at that point, I'm just like, I was just at gunpoint like 4.5 minutes ago, and I'm having a hard time collecting my. The cops, they stood right down here. They were just standing there like this, not impressed. I looked over. This is a song by Bill Morrissey. I got into it. I thought they were going to be all impressed. I got about this far into it, and they started walking away. Wait a minute. I'm going into Bill Morrissey for you, buddy. So this is for the cops in Texas. I've never been so lonesome. I've never been so blue. Midnight on the highway, I'm coming back for you. I've never been so lonesome. I've never been so blue. Midnight on the highway, I'm coming back for you. Stuck in Ozona, Texas. Well, I'm out on Highway 10. I'm going to Arizona to win you back again. I've never been so lonesome. I've never been so blue. Midnight on the I'm coming back for you. I'm standing on the highway, and the only light I see is just the cold and heartless moon shining down. I've never been so lonesome. coming back for you. I've never been so lonesome, I've never been so blue. Midnight on the highway, I'm coming back to you. Alright, I got a bunch of requests. I'm not gonna do them. No, just kidding. I am gonna do them. I'm gonna play you this one here. I wrote this for a good friend of mine. She became a good friend after I met her about 6 years ago. Her name's Dina Jacobson, and she lives about 17 miles south of me. Ithaca, New York is my home, and she lives in Elmira, New York, on the kind of Pennsylvania, New York border. And she just turned 90 years old, and she's spunkiest woman you'll ever meet, and she likes to play rummy cube. So I go over there and she makes me chocolate chip cookies and we play rummy cube. And I met her about 6 years ago with her daughter. Her daughter was visiting from Washington, D.C., so she's 90. Let's see, what's 90 minus 24? She's what? 70. She's 76 years old, that's right.
No,
66. 66, yeah. She's 66 years old. And her name is Connie. Her daughter's name is Connie. And I got to just hang out with them one day, and they were just talking about memories of life, and remember when Dad did this, and remember, you know, and I eventually wrote this song for Dina. And there's a filmmaker in Rochester, New York, who's making a documentary about Dina's life, and this song is going to be in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, my darling, yes, I used to be little just like you. And yes, I played with all the other kids too. Yes, my darling, yes, I used to be little like you. Well, darling, in a Polish town halfway around the world is where I lived when I was just a girl. On a farm in a Polish town halfway around the world. And I had you and a strong will. We made our home in these New York hills. You sailed with me, I sailed with you. With a leather suitcase, everything was new. And that's a good question. We sailed to America because there was a war. When you're older, I promise I'll tell you more. My sweet darling, we sailed to America because there was a war. What's a war? Well, it's when people fight and things get really tough. And that's all for now, I've answered enough. My sweet darling, war is when things get really tough. In the New York harbor, as the ship pulled in, I held you close, we were starting over again. You sailed with me, I sailed with you. With a leather suitcase, I was 22. Yes, I had a family, but some people came and took us from our farm. And yes, you're right, my dear, yes, that's a tattoo on my arm. I had a family, but some people came and took us from our farm. And still I wonder, but only one to leave alive. You sailed with me, I sailed with you, with a leather suitcase and this blue tattoo. Darling, please, no more questions today. Why don't you go outside with the other kids and play? Darling, please, no more questions today. And I had you in a strong will. We made our home in these New York hills. You sailed with me, I sailed with you, with a leather suitcase and this blue tattoo. You know what I'm going to try to do? I'm going to I bring this guitar all the time, but I never play it. So I'm going to try to play it right now. Oh, is there a chair around? Is there an extra chair I can sit on?
Yep.
All right. There you go. Thanks, Sharon. All right. You know, this is kind of like playing a brand new song that I don't know how to play. If I don't wing it and try stuff different, then I never get better and all that. And I just like it. That may or may not be a good thing.
You have a slide?
Oh no. No.
Okay.
This is a Martin D18 guitar. And my mom was a songwriter. She'd written about 250 songs in her life. When she died, I got this guitar. This was her old guitar. And I put it in the closet. I thought I was going to use it. I was going to travel with it and play it, you know. And I put it in the closet. And every 6 months I'd get it out and try to play a little bit of it. And I didn't really like the sound of it. It didn't work, you know. And then I put it back in the closet and I got it back out and played it again. I just never really connected with the tone of it, even though it was kind of sentimental, you know. And then about, so it sat in there for about 7 years in the closet. I kept getting it out every once in a while. And I was talking to my buddy Pat Wichter. He's going to be playing here with Brother Sun soon, right? Coming up next?
Yeah. April 21st.
In April. And he's a slide guitarist. And I was talking to some other slide guitar players. And he said, well, why don't you just take that old Martin and raise the strings up on it and turn it into a slide guitar. So he said, what you need is a nut extender. So I went home and I Googled nut extender. And, woo! And 2 weeks later, I finally got to Elderly Music, right? And they have this little metal thing that you put over the nut here, right? And it raises the strings up and it takes them off the fretboard so that you can play it as a slide. So I put that in there and I got my little metal slide here. And this is a song that I wrote, and I have about 18 versions of this song, and I play it different every time I do it. So I'm going to make it up as I go along here and hope for the best. I wrote a song for my daughter, Josie. After she told me she was sick of my music, I thought I'd write her something to win her over, you know? And I played it for her. She rolled her eyes and ran out of the room. thought, you know what, that actually was a pretty cheesy song. You know, a little sentimental thing for my daughter. And then I thought, wait a minute, no, it was a beautiful song. What's wrong with loving your daughter? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Writing a song about that is a beautiful song. No, it was pretty cheesy. So I was having this battle between the sort of cynics on this side of my shoulder, on this shoulder, and the hopeful, positive, you know, loving father over here, you know, and the cynics were winning. And I was looking out the window, my backyard, and I saw this cluster of bluebirds out there fluttering around. Shara's been at my house, looking out the windows there. And then there was this cluster of crows up in the white pines up there, and they're looking down at the bluebirds. And so I decided to write a song that I pitted the crows against the bluebirds. And that's what this is. It's called Darkling and the Bluebird Jubilee. Darkling said to Bluebird, I've come to steal your crown. With all the fury by my side, I'll tear your kingdom down. I'll tear your kingdom down. The Bluebird said to Darkling, my crown you'll never steal. When love and persistence are the altar where I kneel. So it is and I'll always be, singing hallelujah jubilee. Here we go. So it is and I'll always be, singing hallelujah jubilee. Darkling said to Bluebird, you don't know a thing. Hopelessness is everywhere, and cynical is king. And cynical is king. Bluebird said to Darkling, I reject your wretched fear. My battered wings may fail me, but I'll always be here. And I'll always be here. So it is and I'll always be, singing hallelujah jubilee. So it is and I'll always be, singing hallelujah jubilee. Darkling said to Bluebird, my wicked ways are true. I'll steal your golden glory crown, I'll be the death of you. I'll be the death of you. And Bluebird said to Darkling, I'm not afraid of thee. I'll fly beyond your shrouded cage to the Jubilee. So it is and I'll always be, singing hallelujah jubilee. So it is and I'll always be, singing hallelujah jubilee. So it is and I'll always be, sounds great. Oh man, you'll never hear that song that way again, ever again. All right, now another request here by my good friend Lindo here, and this is a song that my uncle Bernie, Uncle Bernie.